Hi, and welcome to Plane Time, broadcast by the Florida Aviation Network. I'm Ron Timmermans, one of the many hosts for the Florida Aviation Network, and I'm delighted that you've joined us today. I wanted to welcome our viewing parties and the affiliate organizations that are watching today from remote locations. So welcome to Bill Stuhl and Joel Wiener and all the folks gathered with them in Jacksonville with the Civil Air Patrol. It's good to have you with us. Terry Kurtz from South Lakeland, but I think Terry's going to be at the studio today, so maybe there's someone still watching with her group there. And also in Lakeland, Glenn Sims with the Civil Air Patrol has a watching party there. And in Leesburg, EAA Chapter 534, headed up by Paul Adrian and John Weber. Thanks for joining us today. In Orlando, EAA Chapter 74, a very popular chapter in Orlando. Barbara Phillips leads that organization and is hosting the watching party today. Bob Jex, also in Orlando, recently retired from the Orlando FSDO. It's good to have you watching us with us today as well. In Ormond Beach, we have Vicki Sherman and the Civil Air Patrol in Ormond Beach. And then not too far from there, Spruce Creek, Keith Phillips, welcome, and your group. Looking at Keith Phillips at Spruce Creek, EA Chapter 288. There's a lot of numbers here, so I'm getting a bit mixed up on them. Joe Schmaltz. Joe at Titusville, an fast team rep there, and he is watching with the EA Chapter 866 in Titusville. In Sanford, we have Brenna Wright and a group at the Naval Air Station Sanford Information Headquarters office, leading that group there. Brenna, thanks for tuning in today. Bill McClung in Tampa, along with others watching. He's part of the National Aviation Safety Foundation and the Florida Aviation Network. Michael Minner from Tampa, also with the Tampa FSDO. Dennis Hayes in Fort Myers with the EA chapter there. Good to have you with us and all the group that's watching from there. And Billy Hadaway from Birmingham. The Birmingham FSDO. It's good to have you joining us today. And then from the Tampa Fast Team, Sam Gross, thanks for joining us. Barry Simmons from Inverness, not too far from here, EA Chapter 1674. Thanks for joining us from Inverness. And then in Live Oak, north of, north of Gainesville. Yeah, Tommy Diedemann, EA Chapter 797. Thank you for joining us. Good to have you with us today. And then two people from Fort Pierce, John Liccardi and Michael Ketchpaw, EA Chapter 908 has a watch party, and they view our Plane Time broadcasts as well. And then all the way from South Carolina, Rob Williams at the Triple Tree Aerodrome. If you haven't been there before, that's a great place to go a couple of times a year when they have an event there. Rob Williams, thanks for joining us with your folks that are watching today. And then Laura Spaller from Orlando, affiliated with the Women in Aviation chapter in Orlando. It's good to have you and folks watching today. And then from the Villages, just north of Orlando, Jim Waymeyer and Cress Wise. Cress, I've met you before. It's good to have you and your group with the Village Aviation Club watching us today. So for all of the affiliates that are joining us today on video and those that are tuning in, we're about to start an extremely interesting Plane Time number 19, where you'll meet two great guests and have a great program today. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few moments with Plane Time.